I'm like tearing up thinking about it.
I was flabbergasted. Because
it's almost like a Ned Stark kind of like thing at the end.
It was like...
she's going to be a main character. Yes. She's fine.
Yes. He's going to...
Welcome back to Fizz and Fiction.
Woo! We have actual fizz today. Cheers.
Cheers. It's not quite fizzy, but...
It isn't. You know, I feel like a lot of drinks actually aren't fizzy except for like legit champagne.
Anything with soda in it.
Well, I meant like alcoholic drinks.
Oh.
Like
alcohol itself is not fizzy.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you only get champagne and like... What's that? There's like some Japanese something... liquor, I think.
Oh, the only Japanese like liquor I can think of is sake, but it's not fizzy.
It's not that. It's like
gross.
Soju, maybe?
No offense if you like sake, but it's not for me.
I've never had sake, actually. No, I have not.
I've had it warm and cold. And
what's better?
Neither.
Can't recommend either.
Can't recommend either. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just like not my forte. Some people love it. But again, welcome to Fizz and Fiction.
Welcome to Fizz and Fiction.
Today we're drinking a wine that I found in my fridge that I don't know how it got there.
We love random fridge wine.
Yep, random fridge wine.
It is?
Yep.
A Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah, from New Zealand.
Ooh, I heard good things about New Zealand wine.
Oh, I didn't have to. It's on my bucket list.
It is. It's a long journey.
Yes. And what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about Throne of Glass, Heir of Fire, which Spencer has finally finished reading within, 3 days? How long did it take you to finish this?
I mean, if we're talking hours, it was like 3 days.
It was 3 days. She stayed up till, what was it this time?
3:30 in the morning.
3:30 in the morning.
If you've read this book, you understand.
You can't put it down.
You get to a certain point, and it's just like, I can't go to bed not knowing what's about to happen.
Those last 100 pages are just like, you gotta push through it.
You have to. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I kept looking. At one point I texted you and Rachel, and I was like, it's past midnight. And I didn't realize it. and then I went back to reading, because I was like, it's only 12:20. And
when you looked up again?
I looked up again, it was 2. I was like...
But then at that point...
Oh, at that point...
You already ruined your sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
That's midnight, honestly. It's like you might as well keep going.
Yeah, so if I've already ruined my sleep, why would I not just continue?
Why would you not?
Because it's like, I'm not going to ruin my sleep another night. Let's just get this night out of the way.
Yes, exactly. And finish it.
Exactly. And I did.
And she did.
Oh, and I did. And she did. And it was everything I wanted and more.
Aww.
It was great. We'll get into more spoilers. Yeah.
Yes.
But just in general, for anybody who hasn't read this book, or has read the first 2 and hasn't read this book, it is after we find out that she is Aelin.
Yep.
I'm not even going to try to pronounce her last name, because...
Galathinius? I don't know. I can't say it.
Yeah. Gallon something. Found out she's Aelin. She gets to Winland, and then she leaves Kao and Dorian behind in Adderland, and that's the premise of this whole book. Her
hanging out in Winland.
Yep. And then everybody back wherever. So that's just a general. The thing is there's no way to give a general synopsis of this, because it's you start reading it and you're in it.
That's true.
You can't, because it's if
you're spoiling it otherwise.
Yeah, even if you talk about what happens in the second chapter, it's oh, I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah. If you haven't read it, period.
So this is Aelin's journey in Winland.
And I think you could say safely that she's trying to find herself.
Yes. You know? I think that's, and she's trying to, she's there on a mission to assassinate the royals. Mm. We'll see how that goes.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. But yeah, it's what was your rating?
I think this is one of my favorite ones. This one is Queen of Shadows the 4th one.
Queen of Shadows is the 4th one.
I really like Queen of Shadows too.
I give this a 5.5.
I think this one's one of my favorites, because you really things really started to change here.
Yeah.
You meet new characters.
Oh, it was so good.
It's really good.
Yeah, I would say 5.5.
Those last 100 pages. Mm. So good.
Oh. Okay, so that's spoiler free.
Yes, spoiler free.
So if you haven't read, stop.
Get out of here.
Come back later.
We'll see
you later.
Yeah, you can come back.
Yeah, you can join us later.
It's not goodbye forever.
No, just for now.
Just for now.
And now, get into some more spoilers. Let's get into it.
Spoilers. Dun dun dun.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I gotta get my notes out.
Yes, get your notes out.
Okay. First of all, this book, and I appreciated this so much, it literally, first 100 pages, it doesn't like play around. It gets into it.
What's the first 100 pages?
Like, in the first 100 pages, she meets Maeve.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I thought...
That's the first 100 pages? Dang.
Yes! I literally thought that, a lot of the book was gonna be, like, her, like, nobody knowing who she was.
Yeah, no, she goes straight up there.
Yeah. It's just like, hey, Aylin. I'm like, okay.
Because she says that she's her aunt?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Like, yeah, like,
yeah,
distant aunt.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, so which I approved of. Because, you know, books 1 and 2, even book 2 had a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that they weren't like...
They weren't messing around.
Yeah. She wasn't like, not wasting time, but she's like, we already have a lot of foundation, so we're just going to get right into it.
Yeah.
Which I appreciated. So we start, she's like in the city, she made it to the city, and she's just like hella depressed.
Aww.
She's just like drinking wine and stealing food. Yeah. Cheers to Aylin. And she's just like...
She's had a rough 2 books.
She's chilling out on the rooftops.
She loves a good rooftop.
She does. And she's just like observing people and just like drinking and trying to stay numb to the pain it feels like. It's really sad. I was like, sad. You're in a dark spot, girl.
She is.
Yeah, and she's like stealing everything. I'm like, King didn't send you any money? But I'm guessing it's like a different currency.
No, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. Still in hella denial. Like, about
who she is?
About who she is. Yeah. Or everything. Honestly, everything. She's not all about life.
She's got a lot of trauma.
A lot of trauma. Oh. I literally quoted this line in the book. It says, a deep male voice chuckled from the shadows behind her. Enter new Fae boyfriend. I'm like... I didn't even have to... I literally read that and I was like, I don't even have to know.
You and to be fair, before you started reading the book, you were like, it's time. Like, you know... Because you read A Court of Thorns and Roses.
Yes.
So you're like, I know not to trust the first love interest.
Yes.
But did you think it would take 2 whole books to get... Or, like, a 3rd book to get to your love interest?
No. I didn't think that.
Just playing the long game.
Playing the long game. So yeah, so like he takes her to, or like they just like start moving. They don't know she doesn't know where they're going yet.
Yeah.
And then it cuts back to, Adeline, like the capital. Mm-hmm. And I will say, and I was telling you this, that was the most difficult thing about this book was...
Going back and forth.
Yes. Because it was... You had different POVs in the other book, but they were all in the same place.
Yeah, these are separate plot lines.
Yes. And so I was like, okay, I gotta adjust to this. Because I would like get in a groove and get in like a mood with this person, and then it'd be like, bye.
Yeah.
For like a couple chapters.
And chapters are pretty long sometimes.
I know. And like I caught myself being like, okay, so like how many until like the next like Aylin chapter? But I will say, so I didn't like it at first.
Okay, that's fair. It's different.
I was like, who is this Manon lady? And I was like, why do I care?
I used to be so pissed at her chapters.
Oh, the first one, I was like, what am I doing here?
Like, why do I care about you? I don't care about you.
Oh, no. The first 2, I was like...
Yeah, no, like, 100%.
It's like, let me get through this.
The whole book, I remember reading this and being like, I don't care about Manon. Like, Manon, whatever her name is.
Manon.
Yeah.
I don't know. But... So I grew to like her for sure.
Yes, yeah.
But the first one, I was just like, first chapter, I was like, why do I care anything about you?
Because she's not just a new character. Like, she's not just a new storyline, she's a new character too.
Oh, I know.
It's
I'm like, I haven't even heard you.
Yeah,
like, heard anything about you.
Like, at least with Kayla and Dorian, you're like, okay, I at least know you guys.
Have some background.
I kind of care about your other storyline.
Yeah, like, I'm like already partially invested in you.
Yeah.
Her, it was just like brand new. I'm like, she's like new to the party. I'm like, what do you do? You can't sit with us.
You can't sit with us.
You can't sit with us. Like, what are you doing here? But I did. I grew to like her. So I think I mentioned this to you too. And I don't know if I didn't catch it in the first and second books. And I don't know if you can like tell me what it is.
Okay.
But I don't know if I don't know if I missed what the curse is from the Cochrane witches to like all the other clans.
Okay. I don't think it's a big spoiler. It's like not anything. It's just like, because I'll say it a couple times throughout the series.
Okay.
but I can't remember which of the clans it is, but at some point in their history, they fought, like, a huge bloody war, and because they were, like, killing each other, like, Mother Witch, or, I can't remember, they, like, had, like, whoever they pray to, like, cursed the land to where nothing would grow there, so they all had to abandon, like, their ancestral lands, essentially, and that's why they kind of fight a lot.
Okay, because they do allude to that. Because when they talk to, like, we can't go back home, and, like... Okay,
there's, like, nothing that grows there. So, like, they...
Can't live
there. And I want to say... that the king might technically own that part, too.
Oh, yeah.
He might, like, have technically conquered it.
Let me get the map.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, let me get the map.
Give me a hold on, you got it.
Yeah. Oh, where are you at, map?
Speaking of maps, we find it very odd there's no map of Wendlin.
Yeah, what's that about?
It says Wendlin.
Yeah, like, what is that about? Oh, here it is. That's where they...
The Witch Kingdom.
Yeah.
The Western Wastes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that whole area. Yeah.
But I feel like he doesn't really go past this.
The mountains are hard to get past.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like the curse drives them in a lot of things.
Yeah, and I could tell. I mean, I could tell that definitely.
Yeah,
for
like
sure.
I can't remember the exact words of it, but it's not anything spoilery. It's just like,
gotcha.
We want to go home and we can't.
Because that's how we meet Manon. Is she's like hunting and conquering witches, and they can't find any, which I find very odd. They're like they used to could find them, and now they can't find any.
Yeah, there's 3 clans.
Yeah, there's the Blue
Bloods.
Yeah, the
Iron Teeth.
And the
Cochrane.
Well, no, Cochrane's the other one, but there's another. There's a third clan, and like the ones that are training. It's not Cochrane. It's Blue Bloods, Iron Teeth, and Blackbeak.
Oh,
she's a Blackbeak.
3, and then there's the 4th that's the missing one.
It's like 3 against 4.
And then that was the missing one.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
So, yeah, well, that's how we meet her. She's like killing people looking for Cochrane witches. Oh, and then we get to Dorian and his little nurse.
You know I love Dorian. And I was so happy for him.
I was too. I was like, you're so, like, it's just so cute.
Yeah.
I think I like him.
It developed him a lot, I feel like.
Yes.
Having that girl.
Yes. And, like, I like his personality type. That's why I never, liked him and Selena, Aelin, whatever her name is. Because...
They didn't mesh?
I didn't like their personalities together. I think he...
Needs someone sweeter.
Yes.
I would agree with that.
Yes.
I would agree with that to some extent. I think that he learned what he needed to learn from Sorsha. I think that, like, he needed that in his life because I don't think he's ever been truly loved, which is really sad to say.
Oh, yeah. Also, his mother's, like, never around. I'm like, not. Where is this lady?
Yeah.
She's, like, tending to her other...
He has a brother, doesn't he?
Yeah, because he's worried. That's the... He's like, I can't leave because... I can't trust my brother to be any better than my father.
That's
because he's just like a spoiled little brat.
Yeah, it's like he's never really been loved or had anyone like Kale's probably the closest he's had to like someone loving him. So like having that like the girl, I think really opened him up and like taught him a lot of things.
Yeah,
and I think that you'll see in future books like how this develops shapes him, and I think that the man he becomes is very different than the man he starts out as. So.
Got some growth.
Yeah. Love a good character arc.
I don't like saying her name.
Sorsha?
I don't.
I like the name. I think I'm saying it right. I don't actually know if I'm saying it right.
I think you're saying it right, but I think it just sounds...
I think it sounds cool.
I think it sounds like Sasha. But in a...
It sounds like almost Irishy, like Sorsha.
Oh, next note. Sorsha. Blech. I love her. I just don't like that name. Sorsha is a witch for sure. That's my note. This was my first good prediction... when I was taking notes,
you got it right?
I got it right. Well, kind of half right. I guess I'll say. And I said Sorsha is a witch for sure, and she's gonna train Dorian, and they're gonna fall in love.
No.
And then look how that ended. We'll get there. Oh, and I texted you this, and you did not like it. Rowan is Faye Kale.
Yeah, I don't like that. Do you still think that? No. Okay. Do you see why I didn't like it? I was like,
in the moment, it was because they were like,
no, what brought you to this?
It was like very much because of, I remember like in the first book how like
dutiful,
straight-laced,
yeah.
and just, like, all about business. He was.
Yeah.
And I will stand by
I'll stand by that.
They were both very much like that in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then, like, obviously events unfold. But they are very, like, dutiful, loyal, straight-laced, like, I'm here to train you, let's get the job done.
Yeah, I was told to do this thing, I'm gonna do it.
Yes. So, yeah, Kristen did not like when I texted her that. She was like, I don't approve this messaging. Rowan is fake. I don't agree with that anymore.
Yeah.
I retract that.
Yeah.
But in the moment, Rowan was fake hell.
And, like, I think maybe that's probably, she might have wanted, like, Sarah J Maas might have wanted you to think that.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like, draw those parallels.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so that first meeting with Maeve, did not like her, like, point blank. Come to find out, I shouldn't like her.
You shouldn't like her, yeah.
But, yeah, she was giving, like, not good vibes.
No.
Like, Predator kind of vibes, and, like
you're in a spider's web.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I that is, like, she referenced that, like, several times, like, throughout the book, like, referring it to, like, a spider's web. But, yeah, not getting familial vibes from her at all.
Auntie.
She's just, like, looking at her like she's a weapon. Yeah. And I was like, I'm not about it. Oh, and then I was like, don't think I didn't notice how she called out that her and Rowan are extremely distant relatives. Like, I'm like, okay, noted.
That's a little incest here and there.
I mean,
fantasy books.
Right? Oh, and then
extremely distant.
Extremely. They, like, said it, like, twice. And then, so, early on, I was like, okay, why did her mother keep her from Maeve? Come to find out, Maeve sucks.
She kept her from her mother her
mother kept her from Maeve.
For a good reason.
Yeah. And, yeah, so I don't really know. I mean, at the end, when she goes and she finds Maeve, and she realizes that Maeve took the rings, or not took the rings, took the keys. And then Brandon took them from her. Yeah. Like, she wanted them for herself.
Yeah. I
don't really get a grasp of, like, what her end game is yet.
Yeah.
I just know that she just seems, like, super power hungry.
Yes.
Also, what I found interesting in this, okay, I don't want to, like, spoil for, like, ACOTAR if nobody's read ACOTAR, but she was giving me, like, vibes of the other phase, like, other courts in ACOTAR that aren't, like, open-minded. Because, you know, like, Night Court's, like, we love everybody kind of thing.
Is it because she, like, is off on her own on that island and she's like, no one come over here?
Yeah, and she's like, Demi-Fae can't come here either.
Yeah.
She's just, like, elitist. And I'm like, what's your problem? Because I feel like, and it's funny because in the first two books, you know, they kind of reference, like, Fae people and whatever, and you just assume that it's, like, everything's hunky-dory. And you go over there and it's like, oh no, she treats, like, Demi-Fae people like they're crap. They can't come to her, like, beautiful city. And
yeah,
and, like, the humans over there feel like, well, I will say it's Rowan, like, he's probably, like, super intimidating, but, like, they would go into town and they would, like, kind of be like
scared.
Yeah, but you would think when they talk about it makes it seem like everybody in Wendelin is, like, living a better life.
Yes,
which is not necessarily true for everybody.
Yeah, I think that, like, it's better for Fae because obviously, like, there's a big, like, there's, like, no magic.
Yeah.
On the other side of the ocean. But I think that, like, she's created this space for herself and she's very much, like, wants to be here.
Yeah.
And doesn't want anyone disrupting it.
Yeah. I'm not her fan.
No. You shouldn't be.
Yeah. I'm like, her and the king.
That's not a spoiler.
her and the king can eat it. Mm-hmm. They both suck. I'm like, protect Luca and how do you the other guy in the kitchen? Imris?
I don't remember either of these people.
Oh no.
Luca and who?
That makes me think that they never come back. It's like the people in the kitchen where she has to, like, be like a...
Oh! When Aylin's there.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about... I don't know why I thought you were talking about the other place.
No.
Yes, I vaguely remember them then.
Oh, no. It makes them sound like they're not coming back.
Like,
but she leaves!
Yeah, I was like, she leaves. I don't think... They don't come with her.
I know, but, like, does she never come back? I guess you can't tell me that.
I can't tell you that.
And then
but she's not allowed to bring the kitchen staff with her.
I know, but she was like...
I do vaguely remember that.
She was like told that them like she can come. They can come whenever they want.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, okay. So she did a really good job, at least with me, with tricking me on. I don't know. Adian.
Oh, he's a hard one. I say Adian.
Adian.
Yeah.
We're gonna say Adian.
Adian.
For the purpose of this podcast, we're gonna say Adian. It is Aylin's cousin.
Yes. You don't know that at the beginning, though, right?
No.
Yeah.
You don't know that at the beginning, and then well, no, you do.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah. He just doesn't know she's alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
he's been up.
Because he's at whatever that last name is.
Ashfire.
Yeah. He's Aiden whatever.
Yeah.
Ashfire.
Yeah.
And so he's her cousin and like sworn protector.
Yeah.
And
they grew up together.
Yeah, and they do such a good job. It reminded me of ACOTAR. Spoilers for ACOTAR. When Reese is like when he is the freaking with the girl under the mountain, when he has to pretend to be like
hardcore,
her like lover, and like also he hates everybody.
Yeah,
he like puts on that like facade.
Yeah,
I'm like Aiden does that too, and I'm just like, oh, he's just like pretending to like do all this shit.
Oh, I don't remember that either. It's been a minute.
Okay, so he is he's a general.
Right.
And he, like, commands people up north.
Yes.
But he, like, lies about battles. So
he doesn't kill people. Like,
yeah.
His, like, homeland people.
Yeah. So he, like, they think that he's up there just, like, killing, harassing people.
Yeah.
And, like, keeping people in check. Mm-hmm. And he kind of is keeping people in check, but they, like, lie about, like, death tolls and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, yes!
Yes. Stick it to the man.
And then he, like, finds out she's alive. And he gets all emotional.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. He's like, I'll cry later. And I'm like, oh, my God, cry now.
I know.
Just, like, let it out. He was just, yeah. I was pleasantly surprised by him. Because I just thought he was just going to be, like, a dick.
Yeah.
And then he ended up not being a dick. And I was just like, I love you.
He's definitely, like, he'll be a big part of her life, I would say.
Oh, he's ready for her. He's like, when she comes home.
Yeah, he's ready to die for her. 100%.
Yeah, he's like, whatever you want, man. I am yours.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And he gets captured at the end of the book. He gets captured at the end of the book.
By who?
That whole thing. Okay, I got a bone to pick with the king.
Oh,
because this happens in every single one of these books. It's like, they talk about him the whole book. Like, the king did this, the king did that, the king told me this, blah, 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 blah. But they always save, they always save, like, his, like, like a king POV or, like, a really big involvement into, like,
the end.
The last 50 pages. Not even 100 pages, like 50 pages. So, they call Kale, Dorian, and Adian, and Sorsha.
Yeah. We're gonna get to this part now.
Yeah.
Okay.
To the king's,
throne room?
Throne room, or whatever. No, they came to his private chambers.
This is chambers? Okay.
Yeah, because Dorian was like, I never get called here.
Oh, okay.
Red flag. Run! Just run. This whole book, I was like, I mean, I get it. He can't run.
It's his family.
Yeah, and he doesn't want his brother to, like, be the heir.
Yeah.
But I'm also just like, run, Dorian, run.
Yeah.
And then they take Adian captive and, like, Kale.
That's right.
And they put a sword to Sorsha's throat. And I was like, nothing's gonna happen. And then they chopped her head off.
They describe it rolling, I remember.
Yes. They're like, Dorian was like going, like...
trying to put it back on.
Yes!
Oh
I was like, oh my God. I'm
like gonna be chewing up thinking about it.
I was flabbergasted. Because
It's almost like a Ned Stark kind of like thing at the end.
It was. It was like...
She's gonna be a main character. Yes. She's fine.
Yes. He's gonna use his magic to stop it, like he stopped Selena from like killing Kale. Mm-hmm. But like the way he described it, he was like, it was so instantaneous. It was so fast. Like I couldn't even do anything. Yeah. Yeah. I was like, can somebody just stab the king?
I know. He finally like found like love and like.
I know.
Was getting a hold of
the whole
things
book.
were going good for him.
The whole book, they were just like in their own little world. Like at first, I didn't think because she was kind of like, I need to stay invisible. Now I know why she stayed invisible. Knew why. Because that guy was writing her, Ren or whatever.
Oh.
And she was writing letters with information.
Oh, I forgot
Because I didn't expect her to be a spy. I thought she was going to be a witch.
I forgot about that, yeah.
Actually, I don't know that she wasn't still a witch. Like, that could come to light. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But, like, I was expecting that. I was not expecting her to be a spy. Like, I was just expecting her to be like, I need to keep my head down because I'm a witch. Yeah. And then, like, Dorian uses magic. And it all just went to shit. And then the king was not surprised that Dorian had magic.
No.
So I'm like, does the king have magic beyond his stupid little rings? I digress because I jumped ahead. But it just, it gave me all kinds of feels.
Oh.
Okay, back to Wendland.
Okay,
so
hey, you want to talk about Rowan? You haven't really talked about him.
We haven't talked about him because I was gonna need a minute. To just, like, I was gonna need some time.
He deserves his own little time.
I need some time to devote to him.
Okay.
Okay, so they leave from the capital city in Wendland and they make their way towards Mistward. They meet Maeve. She starts working in the kitchen. He flat out punches her.
Yeah, on site.
Like,
it was on site.
I was like, it's like he is not messing around. And then they start training the next day, and she's still like very weak and.
Because remind me, she's not in her. She can't transform to her face self right now, right?
Transform to her face
self. Like her human weak body.
Yeah, and it's like she hasn't been eating. She's just been like stealing like bread and stuff.
Yeah.
She's been drunk. Like nothing healthy about what she's got going on. And then.
You gotta start at the bottom to get to the top,
right?
You know?
And then they start training, and he kind of just thinks she's a spoiled little brat, and he doesn't like know what she's been through. But he's just like on her. And then he says something, and she like leaves. She's like, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And then she's an idiot, and she goes into that cave and starts a fire. And when she's like leaving to go back, she's like, I'll find another way.
Yeah.
Oh, because Maeve won't let her come to the city, Doranel, until she like proves herself. I'm like, you suck, lady.
Yeah.
She's like, you're not worthy. I'm like,
she's a bitch.
Yeah, somebody needs to put a knife through her heart real fast. So they're training, and he's just like, turn, or what is it? Shift.
She's
like, shift.
Yeah.
And she's just like, bro, I can't.
I did it like once, dude.
Yeah.
Like, please.
And then, so like she can't shift. And then she leaves and goes to the cave, lights that fire, and the skinwalker comes. And those things are creepy.
Oh.
And then she, like, runs, and, like, Rowan, like, saves her. And, like, pushes her sin away. And he's like, if you don't turn, we're gonna die.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my god. And then he bites her. And I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, oh my god. And then she turns. Obviously. Probably turns from arousal. And then they start running, and she's like, oh my god, this body feels great.
I'm so fast.
Because, like, she hasn't really gotten to experience it, because when she used to switch, she was young.
She was a kid, and she was in that wormhole. Wormhole?
A worm?
Portal?
Oh, yeah. And the thing. And she's like, and it's always been kind of painful, but she's like, oh, there's, like, good things about this body, too. And then she, like, blasts the guy with fire and, like, kills him. I'm like, cool beans. I'm loving this. But then she, like, turns back into her human self. And her and Rowan, like, have some moments by, like, a river or something. And I just, like, love it. And then they go back and then resume training. And then they start investigating those bodies. And they're, like, hollowed out. Come to find out, they're all demi-fae. Or they figure out they're all demi-fae, but they don't, like, know that connection yet.
Okay.
And then, I'm trying to think what happened.
Is it one of his friends?
No, it's like the general, well, they, like, investigate the bodies, and then they end up finding that it's the king that sent all the soldiers there.
Our king?
Or Adelan.
Okay.
He, like, sent them into, like, the rivers, into the caves.
Yes.
And those people he has, like, the creepy people with him. Sorry, there's so much to
Do you know the word yet for that, or?
Valg?
Okay.
Vlag? Valg.
I said Vlag. Is it VA?
I think it's VA.
Oh. I've always said Vlag. Valg.
Well, let me...
Oh, Valg doesn't roll off the tongue quite as much.
Oh my gosh, how did I turn right to a page that had the word Valg?
Oh, it's Valg.
Yeah. Well, and before they put those connections together, she, like, walks through that field, and he's like, if you can walk through the field with the fairies, he's like, then I'll take you.
Mm-hmm.
But she goes to the field, and unexpectedly, one of the Val princes is there. And that's the first time she encounters him.
Okay.
He, like, takes her into that, like, mind thing where it's, like, all her worst memories.
Yeah.
And she almost, I guess, almost gets hollowed out. Because that's what they figure out is what's doing it.
Yeah.
And she escapes, and they escape, but he doesn't know what that is. And then they come to find out that that's what's been killing all these people. And the king sent them because he brought them in, or summoned them with his stupid word keys. Oh, there's a lot going on.
Yeah. The Valgar are big.
Yes. But, so, she's still training.
Is this the tattoo part?
The guy comes, his friend comes.
Yeah.
And he's tattooing him.
Yeah.
And she comes in, and they're like telling stories. His friend comes in.
I like that
he
part.
leaves with him, and he's like tattooing him, and she's like doesn't know where he went. And she's like, I want to know like what's going on. And so she like brings him soup or something or stew or something, and she's like, does your friend want some food? And he just like, get out of here.
Yeah.
And then she like leaves, and he comes and finds her in the hallway before she gets far, and she's just like, you've left me. And I'm like, this girl's got some baggage. Like, she was just like, I didn't know where you were, and you left. Because at this point, they're like, he says they're not friends. But she's like,
He says they're not
he's
friends.
like, I'm not your friend. I'm like, you're right. You're so much more. So he's like, I'm not your friend. And she was just like, you left me. And that triggers him. Didn't know why that triggered him yet. And then he like explains it to her later that he was mated. And his mate, and this is where I get nervous, because I know you can't tell me, but I'm like, I've read all, like, different, like, fan fiction and, like, other fantasy series where it talks about mates, but I don't think I've come across where somebody's, like, mated again.
Yeah, 2 mates. That's pretty unheard of.
And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm like, it makes me nervous, because I'm like, she better not give me a third person and then be like, nope. Selena doesn't get anybody. Sorry.
She's gonna be single.
Single girl. Which is fine.
Married to her kingdom.
But I'm like, I would love to see her with somebody on her arm. So yeah, so he's triggered by that.
Yeah.
Then he apologizes. Oh. And then they have the festival where she has to keep the fires going, and she like gets like almost too mesmerized by the fires, and she like starts burning inside. Mm-hmm. And like burning from within. And he has to, like, take her and, like, put her in, like, a cold bath. And she, like, burns him just, like, from him holding her. And I'm like, oh, he just, like, love. And then he cools her down, like, because he can, like, turn stuff to ice and, like, cool down the water. Mm-hmm. And so, like, finally she's, like, cooled down. And then he sees her, like, whip scars from Andover.
Yeah.
And he's like,
oh, you're not a little palace princess.
Yeah, and he like leaves and he feels so bad, and she thinks he leaves because he's like pitying her. And then that night he's like, you're sleeping in my room. And you know what? He was like, and I remember this. He was like, you're gonna sleep in my room from now on. Tonight you can sleep in the bed, but tomorrow, like, I'll get you a cot. And he never got her a cot.
He never got her a cot.
He never got her a cot.
Nope.
She stayed in that bed.
Just one bed.
Yeah. I love the one bed trope.
What are you gonna do? Just one bed.
Just one bed. What else are we gonna do? There's no cots. There's no more cots. But, yes, she never got a cot. So she stays in that bed. And then, like, they're so domestic, and I just love it.
You know.
But, you know, the whole thing, and I think she needed this. We're talking about what we thought Dorian needed earlier. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about what I think she needs. Because several times in the book, she's like, basically like, I don't see Rowan this way.
Yeah.
She's like, you're my friend, and all that kind of stuff. And I think
she got burned by Kale.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and I think just in general that she's just like had people in and out of her life.
People have betrayed her.
Or died. And I think she just like needs someone who will be there for her, like, regardless. Mm-hmm. Like unconditional, like, support.
Yes.
Not necessarily, like, romantic. Like, you just need someone.
She's more likely to lose a romantic partner than a friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 So, I think that's just, like, and I think that's what he was kind of becoming. He was just, like, support regardless.
Yes.
Like regardless of
no like strings attached.
Yes, it's like there's no. Yeah, it's just like unconditional. Like I'm here for you. What you need. Like regardless of like we're fighting, we piss each other off, whatever. This is the deal.
Yeah.
Which that's why I love them.
Yeah.
I know. And every time I went back to Kale, I was like, I do still like Kale, but I was like, I get it now. I was just like, I get it.
Yeah.
I understand. Not that I don't still like him, but...
and like you said, he has like some Kale aspects, but he definitely is very different than Kale, I feel like.
Yeah. I think they're just like... their responsibilities are similar.
Yes. And it's almost like, could Kale become Rowan if he lived forever and, like, had been a hardened general from all these years? Yeah. Like, potentially. I can see that.
Oh, okay, so then, like, she does the burnout, and then they figure out what's happening with the bodies.
With the Valg.
And that she's the one who discovers that they're, like, the Valg princes. And then...
Is that why she goes back home? Because she's like, I gotta, like, tell my friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
She got that, and she thinks that she figured out where the third key is. That Oberyn has it.
Yeah.
And I felt so bad because she, like, discovers it, and she's with Rowan, and he's like, what? And she's like, I can't tell you.
Yeah. Because he's...
Because he's vowed to Maeve.
Bound to Maeve.
Yep, and I hate it. And then his friends come and... Because they had that battle with
Do you like his friends?
No.
Oh.
No, I like the... What does she call the one? She was like your kitty cat friend. Because he was the only one.
Which one's the kitty cat friend?
Is
it the one that turns into a wolf?
No. Gabriel.
Gabriel, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Because they were... He tells her, he's like, I called for help. He was like, I didn't know if they'll come, but I just want to let you know I called for help. I'm like, oh, okay. So, she's like in the middle of defending the fortress with her fire, which is so badass.
Yes.
And they like come running down, and she counts them. She's like, oh my gosh, I think that's his friends. And she like makes a wall for them to get into the castle or the fortress. And Gabriel's like the only one who hesitates to like, should I help her? Because she's like on her last leg.
Yeah, she's struggling.
They get in there, and Rowan's like, where is she? Very Batman-esque.
Where is she?
Where is she?
that was a good Batman voice.
Christian Bale's easy to do. He's just very gruffy. But he is. He's like, where is she? And Gabriel's like, yo, she about to die.
You better get your girl.
Like, no, he's like, stop him. They're like, you can't. She's gonna die. And they like try to stop him. He's all like growling at him. And then he eventually like breaks free of them. And by that time, Selena has Rose. She's Rose. I like that scene a lot. Where she's like in the depths of her mind at like the bottom of her soul, essentially.
Yeah, the well.
And then like her like young self comes up. And it's like, get up. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna tear up. She's like, get up. And I'm like, oh my gosh, just get up. And she does, and she's like, she's like kills them all, and I love it.
Yeah.
So like she burns them all.
Yeah.
So I'm like, she's fucking badass. She can like kill a Valg.
She can. They don't like the fire.
Yeah. And so she kills them. And then Rowan is like, she kills him because he fucking does the thing. There's so much that happens in this book.
Does he like give her?
Yes.
He gives her so much power.
Caranan or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a special bond. So I'm like, maybe they won't be mates, but maybe they'll just have this bond.
Yeah.
So he like gives her access to his power.
That's right, yeah.
And so she like is able to defeat them, and I'm like, I love you guys. Yeah. Like, nobody can beat you.
Aww.
And so the battle ends, and then they go to Maeve, because they're like, I got a bone to pick.
Yeah.
And then come to find out that in a scene where Rowan was training her, and they found that sword and that ring, it was Maeve's engagement ring from that man who I did not bother to commit his name to memory.
I can't remember his name right now either.
And Selena like puts all the pieces together because she's badass.
Yeah, she's a smart girl.
And you know what? I always forget because Gabriel like asked after the battle. He's like, "How old are you again?" And she was like 19. And he's like, "Good luck, Rowan." She's so young, but she's so smart.
Yeah.
Because she puts all the pieces together. They're walking into Doranil, into like the castle and stuff. It's all stone.
Yeah. Wonder why that is.
She's like, She's like noticing all this stuff. She's like, it's all stone. And then she's like putting all these pieces together in her mind from like stuff that she's found out from those stories that the kitchen guy was telling.
Yeah.
She's like, I want to hear all the stories.
Yeah.
Come to find out that Maeve basically like betrayed Brandon and, you know, and her would-be fiance and she's the one who killed him.
Yeah.
And that's when Brandon like took the keys from her and hid them. And Maeve always wanted to like see Selena because she wanted to see like what power she had, and that's why her mother kept her from her.
Yeah.
Cause the key's been with the freaking her line the whole time on her necklace, and I was just like, this is so much. This is when I couldn't put it down.
It's so much happening.
I was just like trying to like take in all this information.
Yeah.
And I was like,
holy, it's like revelation after revelation after revelation.
It is. And I was like, holy crap. And then, so she's like, gonna burn the city down. She's like, my city doesn't burn. And she's like, your people do.
Yes.
And she's like, you wouldn't kill all these innocent people. She's like, try me, bitch. And I'm like, do it. Oh, wait. Hold on. Pause. Because I forgot before they got there. I think it was before the battle, when she learns that all the slaves were dead in Calcula and Endeavor.
Oh.
They're all dead. The king killed them all. And she was like, the king's gonna get his.
Yeah.
And like, I hope it's in a really gruesome way. Like, I hope she makes it slow.
Oh.
Don't make it fast. I hope it's slow. Oh yeah, so fast forward, they're with Maeve. And she's like, try me. I'm like, girl doesn't have anything to lose right now. All the people she wanted to free are dead.
Yeah.
Well, not all of them, but like the ones who were still free. But the slaves, she's like, they're dead. She's like pissed. Mm-hmm. She's like, I will kill your people. And then she trades the ring that she has that she has put together is Maeve's engagement ring. Mm-hmm. And she trades it for Rowan. And I'm like, I'm so glad she took that trade.
I know.
I was so nervous. I was like, I hope she really wants this ring back.
I know.
And
she does.
She does.
Spoiler alert.
And then Rowan like swears his loyalty to her right in front of her.
Yeah.
And she was like pissed because she's like, he did this because he knows I can't say no.
Yeah.
Like in front of her. And they're like talking telepathically. That's where I'm like, there's a bond there. I'm like, I don't know if it's just the Coranum or whatever, but I was like, there's a bond there. And so like he swears his like loyalty to her.
Such a good moment.
Oh, I was just like, oh, love it. And then Maeve's just like, get out.
Leave.
And none of his friends stuck up for him. That's why I don't like them. Because I get it. They're like loyal. But I'm like, y'all suck.
Do they mention they also have the.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Which I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, stupid. Just like, he's your friend. For how many millennia, probably?
He is their friend.
But, so they leave. And then she leaves.
Yep.
She leaves him. I was not expecting that. Mm-hmm. He's like, we're stronger together. And I'm like, you are stronger together. Yeah, that kind of like ticked me off. But I get it, because she was like, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
Because
you're this massive fae, dude.
Yeah, get the pointy ears.
And I don't think his magic would work there.
She was like, you would either be in your fae body, and like you would stick out.
Yeah.
But you also like wouldn't have magic, but you would be in this body. Or he could be his like eagle self.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't be able to switch back.
Yeah.
And I was like, you don't want to do
None
that
of those are like great options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she leaves because she's going back to the capital of Adderland as Selena.
Yeah.
But I'm like, there's no way the king hasn't put this together yet. I mean, I know you can't say anything. There's no way the king hasn't put this together yet. The thing is like every time that I'm like, oh, they have a secret from the king, he knows. And I'm just like, what is this? Does he have foresight? Is he a seer? Because he just knows everything. And I'm just like, I thought y'all were keeping this pretty good secret.
I was pretty impressed with your secret keeping.
I was. They're like, very sleuthy. And then he just knows anyway. And I'm just like, dang. Like, why is he always 2 steps ahead? It really gets on my nerves.
Yeah.
But she's about to go back at Selena, and I'm like, there's no way he doesn't know who she is. And if he says he doesn't, he's lying. He's lying through his teeth. So yeah, she's going back. She's leaving Rowan, and I'm like, oh, they're not separated long.
And that's the last time she saw Rowan.
Oh my god. If that was true, That's not funny. That is not funny. I would not like that. I would curse this whole book series.
Oh man.
She goes back. Oh, also, rewind.
Mm-hmm.
They found out. Well, they have a theory, a very strong theory, which I think I'm like. They're like, we haven't confirmed it yet, but I'm like, you've all but confirmed it. That the towers are what are keeping the magic out.
Oh.
So they got to take down a tower. Like, that's goal one, right? It's just like, fucking get some explosives.
Yeah.
And take that thing down.
And then who gets to come hang out with us if they do that?
Rowan. Oh, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
They gotta do that, chapter 1.
Tower's out.
Chapter 1, blow up tower.
Well, yeah, what are your predictions for the next book then?
Okay, so...
Tower's out.
Tower.
Magic back.
Tower's gotta be down in the first 100 pages.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, it has to be. Because I'm just like... that is me selfishly being like, I want Rowan to be able to come to her.
I'm pretty sure that, like, Queen of Shadows is one of my favorite books in the series. Okay. I'm pretty sure.
I like this one a lot.
Yeah. I do really like this one, too.
So, yeah, predictions. Tower's got to be gone first 100 pages.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like they can't... I mean, she could. But I feel like it would help progress the story.
It'd be a good catalyst, yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, things have got to change.
Yeah.
They can't just, like, keep being in a stalemate. We're like, oh, King's got magic and we don't have magic.
Yeah.
So, I'm like, I think the Tower's got to go.
Yeah.
I would assume that they would do the one in the capital city, but, like, maybe not. Maybe another one. And then Manon and all of them are going to be a bigger part of the next one. Because they were, like, in this book a lot, but, like, not, like... Because, you know, she gets her...
Abraxas.
I
love Abraxas.
She gets Abraxas, and they, like, form the bond, and her...
that is pretty badass in that part.
Oh, yeah. And her witches are, like...
Her 13.
Yeah, they're, like, wing leader. So they're going to be, I think, a bigger part of the next book. But I think that what'll happen is they're going to take the tower down. The witches are going to get their magic back. And they're going to be like, we have magic and these flying beasts now.
Let's go.
Yeah, like, fuck the king. like, we're our own army now.
Yeah.
Thanks for giving us these rides. But then they'll have brooms too, but then it's like, why would we need to go back to a broom when we have these beasts?
Yeah, that's fair.
So I think they're going to get magic back, and then they're going to become, like, a third group of, like...
Threats.
Mm-hmm. So it'll be, like, Selena and them, or Aelin and them, the witches, and then, like, the king.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think the king knows who she is.
Okay.
The more I, like...
You think he'll call her out on it this next book?
Yeah. The more I learn about, like... Or, like, kind of see him... And, like, see him kind of foil all these plans... And, like, do all this bad stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no way he doesn't know... Or hasn't figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that...
What do you think the king's agenda is?
I think he just wants, like, complete domination of, like, the entire world.
Yeah.
Along with the face.
Okay.
Like, I think he wants...
Like, that's his next target.
Yeah, I think he wants everything.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's power mad.
Yeah.
And he's like, this isn't enough anymore. I know they're living over there free.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have them next.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's his end goal. And... So she's gonna come back. I think it's gonna be very quickly where, like, her identity is just, like, released to the world. Mm-hmm. Like, Selena is gonna be no more.
No more. Yeah.
It's just like, that's Aelin.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna break Adian out.
Yeah.
So he can, like, fight at her side.
Fair. Finally know who she is.
Yeah. But I'm hoping what they do is, like, they, like, take the tower down and then flee the capital.
Okay.
It's just like, let's take this down, let's flee the capital, let's go back to Terrassen. Regroup, and, like, start to, like, reclaim some lands and, like, game plan.
Yeah.
So that's what I think is going to happen in the next book. And then, like, I think there'll be the first of many, like, battles.
What about Dorian and Kale? What do you think's going to happen with them?
Well, Kale has chosen his side now. He was very wishy-washy in this.
He's a little too loyal at points.
He is. It is. It's very much like, you're too loyal. Like, I get it. But, I think that, Kale's gonna join them. Like, when they flee the capital, he's gonna flee with them. Mm-hmm. And then Dorian, oh, wait, I forgot this too. Dorian has that collar on him now.
I couldn't remember if that happened at the very end or not.
I didn't write this down. I stopped taking notes because I was so into it. I was like, I couldn't stop to, like, start writing stuff. But I did think this. I was like, if the king doesn't know, Dorian's gonna rat her out.
So what do you think the collar does?
I think that, like, if the king, like, compelled you, you, like, couldn't, like...
I think it's like control collar.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like you'd have to, like, bend to his will. So it's like, if you don't tell me the truth, like, bad things will happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I think he's gonna rat her out. If the king doesn't already know, which I'm like, I feel like the king probably does. Yeah. So I think Dorian is gonna have to stay behind because he's got that stupid collar on. Unless Selena can burn it off. Like, can you burn this collar off? Just get a little
I don't think you can.
Oh, well. That's what I want to happen.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to have to leave Dorian behind.
Okay.
But I don't think he's going to be left behind as an inside man because he's like...
You can't trust him.
You can't trust him because he's got that stupid collar on.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And she's going to have a run-in with her old master, Arberin, to get the other...
And you've met him more now because she started reading Assassin's Blade.
Yeah. So I'm like halfway through Assassin's Blade.
Yeah.
So I've met him more, like actually interacted with him.
Yeah. So you know that he's not to be trifled with.
No. So she's gonna have
a hard time.
Yeah, and I think that'll happen pretty quick too. Because I don't think they're gonna stay in the capital long.
Okay.
Because so much of these books have, like, when it hasn't been in Wendelin, they've been in the capital and they haven't been other places. So I'm like, this is the book where they gotta venture out. That's those are my thoughts.
You think they'll head up to Terrason?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this next book, I'm like, it's gonna be a lot. I mean, that one was a lot.
It does just take such a turn.
It does so much, and like they have the 3 storylines going at the same time, so it's just like. It's just constantly, I'm just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And yeah, the last 100 pages, I'm just like...
It's like, it makes you see how, it's like the plot is bigger than you thought it was going to be.
Yes.
Like, things just keep, like, getting bigger and bigger.
Yes, it's like, you think it's this, but, like, the actual big picture is here.
Yeah.
And, like, you don't, like, as you go through, it's like, oh my gosh, this, like, web is, like, here and not just, like, here.
Yeah.
And it's wild.
It is. And it's so good.
Oh, it's very entertaining.
Yes.
I was just, like, thoroughly entertained through the whole book. Even when stuff was driving me crazy.
Yeah.
It's just like, you're miserable, but you're going to be happy about it.
Yes.
But you're going to be happy about it.
I'm excited for you to read it.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go through it pretty quickly.
I think you will too.
I'm going to have to not start it after, like, a late time.
I need to, like, give yourself, like, limits.
It's so hard.
You're not going to be able to do it, but...
It's so hard! When it's so good.
I know.
And I did appreciate in some of those chapters when, like, stuff was getting really good with, like, one storyline and they didn't switch back. Because I was like, you can't break this momentum.
That's just mean.
You can't break this momentum.
No.
Like, I'm on a journey right here.
Yes.
What a journey. Oh, but yeah. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Yes, so good.
And keep reading with us.
Yes.
As we go through the rest of this TOG journey.
TOG.
You want to cheers?
Cheers.
To,
what are you feeling the cheers to this time?
I'm going to cheers to Rowan, obviously.
I'm going to cheers to Sorsha, our fallen comrade.
Sorsha. I just don't like the name. To the nurse. And Rowan. Cheers. Oh. Hope Rowan prospers. Sorsha. Maybe her spirit will come back.
I mean, we have seen ghosts, so.
That's true. It's true. Okay.
Alright. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, friends. Have a good day.
Bye.